If you weren't aware, it's Fat Tuesday, so happy Mardi Gras, everybody. We got the Mardi Gras colors going. So I did get some submissions with a little bit more color, since we wouldn't expect to see too much going on at this time of year. Probably would have got a better response if I would have sent a quick note to everybody. But we got a few things here. And I also was able to kind of go back to some older photos that people have sent me that I haven't used in the past. So there we go. All right, so we'll get started with April Wyman. The first few are not like the format where we kind of like, we'll talk about it. The first few are kind of just one-offs. So I think a lot of people have seen this one, probably really common. It's got some nice purple colors, a lot of zonation. This is your Trametes versicolor or your turkey tail. You can see a lot of it out now with all the, the greenery gone. This is a pretty common one, even though it's kind of dried out. You might find some fresh. This other one over here, this one, I think she found this one a few months ago. Kind of can be really cool with these little coloration on the tip where the spores come out. This is a Calostoma lutescens. They call it puffball and aspic. And we also had Claudine LeBeau sent this a couple of months ago. I never used it in one of the shows, so I thought this would be a good time to throw this in here. So this is a better shot of that Calostoma lutescens. And you can see the collar around it and this kind of like jelly-like stuff. This is what would be the aspic. There's another one that's much more colorful and it's more oranges and reds. Whereas this one's more yellow and can be kind of a little drabby. Although the little top there where the spores are produced are kind of cool. So this is like a puffball. This is the gleba up here, and this little opening is where the spores will come out. Another common name for this one is chicken lips, due to, I guess, the orange-red color there of the opening. All right, she also found these two, very common. I'm sure most of you have seen these if you've been walking around in the woods. First one here is a auricularia. This is your wood ear. So they were calling this auriculae, but apparently that's not really what we have here. The Americana is supposed to be the conifer one, and Angiospermarium is supposed to be, I think, the hardwood, but I don't think that's all really been finalized yet. So wood ear, auricularia americana would work, or if you want to say auriculae, hey, that's what you're going to find in the books right now anyway. So second one here, fairly common as well, Tremella mesenterica. This is your witch's butter. This is one, you're going to find this one on hardwood. It looks like I don't see any sterium growing here on this little piece of wood, but I believe that there is sterium, that the Tremella is actually parasitizing the mycelium that's growing inside the wood. So it's actually not a saprophytic mushroom. It's actually parasitizing a sterium. Anyway, some more colors. All right, so Brenda Connolly submitted this guy. I'm sure if you were out and about, you saw some of these recently. This is your Omphalodus illudens. This is another set that doesn't have any undersides, but this would have orangish gills, white spore print. This is growing on wood. So it looks like it's growing from the ground, but this is actually probably some roots or some sort of buried wood under there. Couple more. She found this is the first one here is Mutinus elegans. This is one of the stinkhorns. So also in the gastromycetes, this is the spore mass up here at the tip. Instead of puffing out, these have a stinky substance which attracts flies. The flies come and land, then they fly off, and that's how they spread the spores. She got that one in Michigan some time ago. And this next one is Amanita muscaria. She found this one quite a few years ago in Alaska, and she had mentioned that this was actually the mushroom that first started her interest in mushrooms, which I thought was kind of cool. All right. Speaking of amanitas, Rachel Carlisle found this one in West Virginia in October. I chopped out a nice big one here, but we'll see that one next. And this is kind of our version of Amanita muscaria. So it doesn't have the bright reds and oranges. We have more of a yellow orange colored one. This is very typical of Amanita muscaria, with these kind of zonate rings down at the base that are kind of the remnants of this universal veil, which would be the covering of the mushroom when it was a baby. It would look like a little egg, and as it expands, the patches of that universal veil get left on the cap there. This one would normally have a more membranous ring, which can break off fairly easily, but you can kind of see a ring zone there by her finger. Free gills, pretty typical of Amanita muscaria. Our version is Gasawi. And she also submitted this guy, which is Lacaria ochropurpurea. I thought it was a cool little guy. It looks like he's kind of bowing to the majesty of this Amanita here, or lost a contact lens or something. But we're continuing our Mardi Gras theme with our purple, green, and gold. John McKinley Ward found this one in Dolly Solids, West Virginia in September. What a beautiful mushroom, huh? It'd be fun to find some of these. So this looks like this is one of the waxy caps. Hygrostomy, hygrophorus. The hygrostomy tend to be much more colorful. This is not my strong suit, but I believe this is Hygrostomy coccinea. Beautiful mushroom. Unfortunately, I'm not the best with the hygrostomies. They call this one the scarlet wax cap. All right, Marilyn Mendel found this one. I really like finding these. First time I found this was actually at the NAMA Foray down in Lafayette. Kind of looks like an oyster mushroom with a really bad case of goosebumps or something. So you can see it's got this pleurotoid form, wavy margin. The gills are kind of decurrent, except it's got this weird kind of gelatinous like spines on it. Really a cool looking mushroom. This is Hohenbuehlia mastricata. Call it the woolly oyster. And just for the heck of it, I threw in a zoomed in portion just so we could see those little spines up close. They're really cool. Anyway, we'll move on from there. All right. Oh, here's Mitch throwing in fallen logs. Okay, well, actually, I found this one on the tree foray recently, and I'm actually talking about these little bitty guys right over here. So kind of tough to see, but when we were out there, you could see them they were pretty bright orange. So these are, I believe they are some little ascomycetes popping out, emerging through the bark. I believe this is Melogramma gyrosum. They call it the orange hobnail canker. I'm not certain. Apparently there are some lichens that can look like this, and I think there's another fungi that can look like this, but I think that's what this one is. Here's a little closer look at it. Pretty gnarly looking. A little burst of color in the fall, winter woods. All right, another one from John, found at Dolly Sods. Beautiful mushroom. It almost looks like somebody drew the lines on the cap of this thing. It's fantastic. It's very like striations on that thing are just great. pulling it and taking a look, it's looking very Tricholoma-like. Tricholoma tend to have gills that'll attach to the stem. Sometimes they'll have kind of notches. It would have white spores. And with this coloration, I believe it's Tricholoma sejunctum. And we're kind of continuing on. We've got some yellow, we've got some green, and now we got some purple. Hey, more Mardi Gras colors. So this was submitted by Marilyn Mendel as well. This one I think she found in September, I believe is what she said. Fairly common, beautiful mushroom. It can be even brighter purple than this. You can kind of see the rusty spores being produced here. That's the spore color of Cortinarius. So this is Cortinarius violaceus. This is the Violet Webcap. Probably the most purple Cortinarius there is. Right. And Chris Bowen found these guys at the Kennedy Center recently. I just thought I'd throw them in there. And finally, this was submitted by Douglas Miller. His brother sent him this. He was out there near Antarctica going to look for some penguins. But I thought it was a beautiful picture and included some nice crustose lichens. Unfortunately, couldn't get close enough to really give you an idea of what they are. But anyway, thanks for all the submissions, and you guys have a good one.